Hello everyone, welcome to our Vinyasa Flow Yoga class. You may want to have a couple of yoga blocks set up, framing the top of your mat and then a strap off to the side there. Let's begin lying down on your back in Supta Baddha Konasana, or supine bound angle pose, in which you drop the knees open and bring the soles of your feet to touch. Now, if your hips are needing some support, you can place a block under each outer thigh here to rest on. And then place your hands wherever it helps you to connect to your body. Feel your body breathing as it is. Perhaps even close your eyes. Just allow a moment here to transition from whatever you're doing before to your practice of yoga. Here's a quote shared by Pema Chodron. There is a teaching that says that behind all hardening and tightening and rigidity of the heart, there's always fear. But if you touch fear, behind fear, there is a soft spot. And if you touch that soft spot, you find the vast blue sky. You find that which is ineffable, ungraspable, and unbiased. That which can support and awaken us at any time. Brené Brown talks about the Latin root word within the word courage, and that's cor, which means heart. And she also says that the original definition of courage is to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. So in this practice today, how might you move from the heart and perhaps find contact with that soft spot behind fear, bringing courage to light? So as you rest in Supta Baddha Konasana, let your left hand rest at the middle of your chest, the area of your heart energy center. Let your right hand rest at your upper abdomen, at your solar plexus energy center. And now just begin to breathe into both parts. Feeling the full length of your inhale and even hovering at the top of it. And then letting any sound release through your mouth as you slowly empty your breath. And even lingering at the bottom, at the emptied breath. Let's try that one more time, your pace. And perhaps as you might set an intention for yourself or a dedication of the efforts you put into your practice, invite you to chant with me one sound of Om, feeling that resonance where your palms sit. Take a deep inhale. Om. And then breathing in fully so that your belly, back ribs, side ribs expand all the way up to your collarbones. Closing your lips if you can, breathing slowly, just as long, through the nose. And now softly narrowing the back of your throat to create a gentle whispering sound, moving into Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing. So track the quality of your breath, that it's balanced in and out, sustained. And with that, bring your hands to your outer thighs, lifting your knees. Bend your right knee into your chest and straighten your left leg on the floor. Just taking a few breaths here to drop your shoulders into the ground and away from your neck. Flexing both of your feet now. Bring your hands to the back of your right thigh where your hamstring is, and begin to kick your right thigh into your palms. Taking a deep inhale, exhale, contract your lower belly and lift head, shoulders, left heel 2 inches off the ground. Pausing here, you might even extend your arms forward so that your palms face each other, framing your right leg. Breathing in Exhale, 3. Inhale, you might even think of lifting your pelvic floor. Exhale, 2. Inhale, and drawing the navel towards your spine and up towards your heart. And exhale, release left leg, head and shoulders. Open your right arm wide on the floor, grounding the shoulder, and slowly cross your right thigh to your left for a supine spinal twist. Recentering on your breath. Notice you might be gazing past your right shoulder here as you root it down, sending your right outer hip forward, slightly away from your torso. Let's take one more cycle of breath. At the end of your exhale, roll onto your back, slide your right leg forward on the ground, and bend your left knee into your chest. Take a deep inhale, slow exhale, then flexing both of your feet, place your palms at the back of your left thigh at your hamstrings. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, kick your left thigh into your palms, helping you to lift the head and shoulders, as well as your right heel 2 inches off the ground. Breathing here, you might extend your arms forward, framing your left thigh with your palms facing each other. Inhale. Exhale, 3. You might think of lifting your pelvic floor. Inhale. Exhale, 2, drawing the navel towards your back and up towards your heart. Inhale. And exhale, 3. This time, bend both of your knees wide apart into happy baby pose. With both elbows inside of your thighs, catch hold of your ankles or your outer feet, splaying your feet apart as you ground your tailbone and shoulders. Let's take 3 long breaths. Up and down the spine, visualizing. Inhale from the bottom of your spine to your crown. Exhaling from your crown, down your spine to your tailbone. Now keep your knees wide open so both arms remain inside of your legs, but bring the inner edges of your feet to touch. Big toes, inner heels. Keep the soles of your feet facing the sky and begin to straighten your arms, flexing at your wrists so that your palms face up towards the sky too. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale again, contract your belly and lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Taking another 3 breaths here, you're in supine Bakasana, crow pose. So think of drawing the navel in and up towards the heart, that's Uddiyana Bandha, as well as contracting your pelvic floor, perineum, anus, lifting the pelvic floor, that's Mula Bandha. Take another breath in, and then exhale, catch the backs of your thighs, round and rock and roll, forward and back a few times. See if you can build some momentum here to eventually rise all the way up to stand at the top of your mat in mountain pose. And that's a fresh new start. Maybe you feel a little energized from that. Separate your feet hips width, parallel, spread your toes on the ground, energize your legs, and lift your heart. Take a deep inhale, sweep your arms overhead, look up, watch your palms touch. Exhale, hinging from your hips, feel free to bend your knees any amount so it feels like your back is flat as you fold. Press your hands on your shins or the floor head. Inhale, lift your chest and draw your heart forward. Long spine. Exhale, fold. From down through your feet, inhale, sweep your arms and rise all the way up to stand. Watch your palms meet again. Exhale, thumbs tracing your midline, back to mountain pose. Let's take twice more, Ardha Surya Namaskar, to your breath pace. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, root to rise, palms touch. Exhale, mountain pose. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands together at your heart. Bring your hands behind your lower back to clasp. You could also choose to grab a strap to hold between your hands. Just make sure that you're able to lift the arms at least a foot away from your lower back so that you can open the fronts of your shoulders. Bend your knees a lot. Inhale, lift your chest and look up. Exhale, bow from your hips and shift more weight towards the front of your heels, letting your head completely fall here for about 5 breaths. So any variation, you could straighten one leg and lean towards it and then switch sides. You could shake and nod your head, maybe flutter your lips. Maybe switch the interlacing of your thumb and index. So let your arms stretch away from your lower back as you lift your shoulders up away from your neck. Last 2 breaths in Uttanasana. Now planting your hands on the floor, step back into plank and we'll pause for about 5 breaths. Just really establishing a long, strong line of energy from the crown of your head, down your spine, tailbone. If your legs are straight, out through the inner heels. Otherwise, your knees are on the floor right under your hips. Now, as you find a slight grip under each fingertip, root the base of your thumb and index. Press the floor away with your palms and draw your shoulder blades down your back. Look on the ground just ahead of your hands, and let's prepare for Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale and plank, keep the belly lifted. Exhale, glide forward, maybe a foot forward, and bend your elbows to graze your side ribs. So now you're in Chaturanga, slowly come all the way down. Point your toes, press every toenail into the floor firmly, and inhale, hug your elbows to your sides as you coil your chest open in Cobra, relaxing your shoulders down. Tuck your toes, and as you exhale, lift through your belly, press up through plank again, then lift your tailbone back to downward facing dog. First downward dog, give yourself a few breaths if you want to shift around in your own way. Pedaling your feet, moving your head, anything that you need here. Back to the sound rhythm of your breath. Feel the open space in your neck and shoulders by rolling your triceps towards the ground and completely dropping your head as you lift the shoulder blades onto your back ribs. Let's prepare for a new flow. We'll set the route the first round, so we'll go slowly. On your next inhale, turn out your right thigh bone at the hip and cross your right ankle onto your left thigh like a figure 4. Let's just pause here to feel it. So flex your right foot to stabilize your right knee. Evenly press down and forward through your palms to lift your shoulders up and back. Hips evenly up and back. Take another inhale. As you exhale, tap your right knee outside of your right upper arm or elbow. Hovering in plank, gently step the right foot forward outside of your right hand. Now here's where you might place the blocks underneath your hands. Good place to start if you're not sure, just so that your shoulders can rest away from your neck. So you've landed in lizard lunge with your back knee off the ground. Option to lower the back knee if that allows it to be more accessible. On your next inhale, scissor your right hip back so that you're straightening your right leg as you lengthen your chest forward towards a flat back. Exhale, keep your right leg straight and bow inside of it. Let's just pause here a couple of breaths in this wide version of pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. On your next inhale, rebend your right knee to stack just over the heel, entering lizard lunge. But as you exhale, spin your left heel to the ground. Keep your right hand inside of your right leg so you can adjust the height of the block, using your right arm to nudge your inner right thigh open. Press your right thigh back against your right arm so that your right knee and middle toe continue to face forward. Raise your left arm up high, and you're in a wide version of side angle pose. Here, think of rolling your right outer hip under your body and reaching your tailbone back towards your left outer heel, which is rooting firmly into the ground. On your next in-breath, rotate your left tricep to face your left wall and sweep your left arm overhead towards your front wall, finding a lateral extension, opening up your left side body. And keep relaxing your shoulders down your back as you spiral your chest towards the sky. Let's take one full cycle of breath. Extended side angle. Now place your left hand down onto the vacant block. Lift the heel of your left foot, so you're back to a high lunge. And then raise your right arm to the sky, entering a twist. Sink your right hip back, bending the front knee just over the heel. Firm your left heel towards your rear wall as you grow your spine towards the front wall. And then turn your chest open. One more inhale. As you exhale, plant your two hands on the floor, entering plank pose. Pause here and just feel that alignment of crown, tailbone to inner heels, belly lifted. On your next exhale, glide forward, raise your elbows to your side ribs, come all the way down if you want to take cobra, or flip your toes halfway down into upward facing dog. Deep inhale. As you exhale, contract your belly to lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Let's take 3 slow breaths here. All right, side 2. Inhale, turn out your left thigh, cross the ankle over your right thigh like a figure 4. Pause and breathe here as we set it up. Left foot is flexed to stabilize the knee. You're evenly rebounding your weight off both hands and drawing your sitting bones up and back. Take another inhale. As you exhale, tap the left knee outside your left upper arm, forward in plank, and gently step the left foot outside of your left hand. Notice if you want to use blocks under your hands here. In your lizard lunge. Next inhale, scissor your left outer hip back to straighten your left leg. Optional to lower your right knee. And then as you exhale, fold inside of your left leg. A wide version of pyramid pose. Now as you're folding, notice that you're keeping that open space between your chin and chest. The shoulders are relaxed away from your neck. Next inhale, rebend the left knee back to lizard lunge. Spin your right heel to the ground so the toes are slightly facing the front of your mat. Keep the left hand inside of your left leg on a block or the floor, nudging your inner left thigh with your left arm, firm back into your arm with a thigh. Raise your right arm up high into side angle pose, a wide variation. In side angle, rotate your left sitting bone under your body and lengthen your tailbone back towards your right outer heel that's firming into the floor. Let's take another deep inhale. Spiral your right tricep to face the right wall and sweep your right arm towards your front wall. As you exhale, extended side angle. And just feel that rotation of your chest towards the sky. Your shoulder blades melting down your back. One more breath. Set your right hand down on the vacant block. Lift the right heel into a lunge. And then raise your left arm towards the sky, entering a spinal twist. Sink your left hip here as you bend the front knee just over the heel. And firm your right inner heel back, growing your spine forward. One more breath. Place your two hands on the ground, entering plank pose. Inhale in plank, lifting the navel, gazing forward. Exhale through chaturanga and keep going on your own. Cobra or upward facing. Feel free to take a child's pose whenever you need to rest. Wherever you are right now, downward dog or child's pose, 3 slow breaths. And now we'll begin to flow. 1 breath, each motion, So really bring attention to how you're sustaining your breath so the movements are sustained, not rushed. From downward facing dog. Inhale, turn out the right thigh, cross the ankle over left thigh, figure 4. Exhale, tap right knee to right tricep. Step the foot outside of right hand. Hands on blocks or the floor. Inhale, straighten the right leg, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, fold inside of the right leg. Inhale, rebend the right knee, spin the left heel down, raise your left arm, side angle pose. Exhale, sweep the left arm overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, place the left hand down, lifting the left heel, prepare to twist. Exhale, raise your right arm to the sky, into your twist. Inhale, step down into plank pose. Exhale, shift forward through Chaturanga. Keep going on your own, finishing your vinyasa. From downward facing dog, inhale, turn out your left thigh, cross the ankle over right thigh, figure 4. Exhale, tap left knee to left tricep, step the foot outside of your left hand, lizard lunge. Maybe the blocks under your hands. Inhale, straighten left leg, draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, rebend your left knee, spin the right heel down, raise your right arm to the sky, side angle. Exhale, sweep the right arm overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, lower your right hand, lifting right heel to a lunge. Exhale, twist, left arm to the sky. Inhale, hands to the floor, plank pose. Exhale, forward and down into your vinyasa. Keep going. Downward facing dog, 3 slow breaths, rebalancing. Let's keep going, same sequence. Inhale, turn out right thigh, figure 4. Exhale, tap right tricep, lizard lunge. Inhale, straighten right leg, lift the chest. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, bend the front knee, drop the back heel, left arm up, side angle. Exhale, extend the left arm overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, left hand down, back to a high lunge. Exhale, twist to the right, right arm to the sky. Inhale, step into plank. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Let's take 1 cycle breath. Side 2. Inhale, turn out your left thigh, figure 4. Exhale, tap left knee to left tricep, step it forward, lizard lunge. Inhale, straighten left leg, draw your heart forward. Exhale, fold, pyramid pose. Inhale, bend the left knee, right heel down, right arm up, side angle. Exhale, sweep the right arm overhead, extended side angle. Inhale, right hand down, back to a high lunge. Exhale, twist to the left, left arm up. Inhale, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower to flow on your own. This time, 3 to 5 breaths, steadying your gaze, opening up your neck and shoulders, lifting your tailbone, and sinking your weight down the backs of your legs through your heels. From here, slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, folding over your legs. At the rear of your mat, let's give our outer wrist a stretch in Padahastasana. So as your feet are parallel, hips distance, bend your knees any amount you might need to lift your toes and slip your palms face up under the soles of your feet, stepping on your hands. Try to get your toes to meet the inner creases of your wrists. And then again, shift your weight forward. Inhale, lift your chest through your upper arms. Exhale, hinge from your hips. And as you bow, see if you might be able to splay your elbows apart as you lift the shoulders away from your neck. Let your head go. Let's try that twice more. Inhale, rise forward, halfway up. Exhale, hinge forward, let it go. One more, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Few deep breaths, maybe shaking the head, maybe fluttering your lips, or taking a releasing, cooling lion's breath, where you stick out your tongue, open your mouth wide, and exhale a sound out. And then slipping your palms out from underneath. Press to your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms to rise all the way up. To stand. Join your hands together at your heart as we enter tree pose. Feet together to touch. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Turn out your right thigh at the hip. And in this tree pose, you can take the traditional version where you seal the sole of your right foot somewhere inside of your left leg, below or above the knee. Or you can play what we did in downward facing dog, flexing the right foot and crossing the ankle onto your left thigh. Now, if you're doing the latter, you could even use your left hand to perhaps catch hold of the top of your right foot and slide the heel closer to your left hip crease, pointing your right knee towards the ground as you anchor your tailbone downward towards your inner left heel and lift up through your crown. And then take your arms wherever you like here for a few more breaths. Maybe overhead, maybe thumbs and index touching in Gyanam Mudra. One more deep breath. Join your hands at your heart and exhale, step your right foot next to the left. Shifting your weight onto your right foot, spread your toes. Turn out your left thigh and take your version of tree pose, preferably what you practiced on the first side for balancing your hips. Now you're either hugging the inside of your right leg below or above your right knee, or you're flexing your left foot and crossing the ankle in front of your right thigh, like a figure four. And if so, you might use your right hand to bring your left foot even higher, if your knee is okay with it, and place your heel in front of your right hip crease, with left knee pointing towards the ground. Now, if you're taking that latter version, really lengthen your tailbone downward towards your inner right heel, and then lift up from sternum to crown, and then any variations with your arms. Notice your breathing here. Notice how courage might play a role in this context right now. And sometimes it's not the physical part that requires the courage. Sometimes it's just paying attention to something that might not be so comfortable. Sometimes that presence of mind itself is what requires courage. Let's take one more breath. And then join your hands together at your heart and step your left foot down. And take a moment to just shake out. And then we'll shake to the top of your mat. Bring your feet together to touch. Standing in mountain pose. We're going to start a new flow, so let's take a moment to place carefully. Determine our route. Inhale your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers except your index fingers. Plug the shoulder bones down, standing tall. As you exhale, side bend to your right. Really ground your left foot here to counterbalance. Hug your front ribs in and keep your shoulders relaxing down. Firming your belly and inhale, rise to center. And as you exhale, side bend to your left. Root the right foot down in contrast. Inhale up to center. Exhale, bend your knees in chair pose. So the knees come together, the feet are together, and you're hugging your midline. Sinking your hips back so your weight is more on your heels. And then start to lower down into boat pose, Navasana. Catching hold of the backs of your thighs and lifting your spine tall, or extending your arms forward, knees bent or legs straight. Take another breath in here, draw the navel in. Now we're gonna rock back any amount, sort of like plow pose. So rock back and then come back forward into boat pose. So you may want to catch the backs of your thighs here or extend the arms forward. Back to boat. With an upright spine, take an inhale. And then exhale, step forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, step into plank. So choose your plank, whether legs are straight or knees are on the floor right under your hips. Make sure your wrists are right under your shoulders. Now listen carefully, this is different. Take an inhale in plank. Keep that long, straight spine, and exhale, glide forward, only lower 2 inches. That's halfway to Chaturanga. So that's 1/4 of the way all the way down. Hug the elbows to your side ribs. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, lift into downward facing dog. Just pause here. Open up across your shoulders and drop your head. On your next inhale, raise your right leg behind you. As you exhale, bend your right knee and turn open your thigh at the hip. As you inhale, tack your left hip back. As you exhale, bend your right knee towards your nose and scoop the belly in as you round forward to plank, and gently step the foot right between your hands for Warrior Two. Spinning your back heel down, align your front heel to the arch of your back foot. Firming down through your feet, inhale, cartwheel your arms to rise up. Take a couple breaths in your Warrior Two as you steady your gaze just past your right hand. Wrapping your right sitting bone under. Find an upright, neutral positioning of the bowl shape of your pelvis. Inhale, Warrior Two. Entering half moon pose, you might place your left hand to your left hip. Gaze at the floor ahead of your right foot and plant your right fingertips 6 inches forward of your right pinky toe, out to the right on a block or the floor. Drag your left foot forward and flexing the foot, lift the heel to the height of your hip. Turn your chest completely open to face your left wall. Maybe raise your left arm towards the sky. Now you want to feel space along that right side of your torso, so keep wrapping your right outer hip under your body and press the crease of your right hip back towards your left lifted heel. Long through your neck, take another breath here, staying on the exhale. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. So slowly step back into Warrior Two and flip your right palm to face up, sweeping it back towards your rear wall as your left hand lands lightly on your left thigh. Right knee is bent forward. Peaceful Warrior, take a deep breath into your right side body. Exhale down to plank pose. So we're gonna take that half to halfway to Chaturanga. Inhale in plank. Exhale, glide forward, bend your elbows back, just bending 2 inches down. Inhale, lift through the belly, press up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. So that little exercise helps to stimulate the muscles that stabilize your shoulders. All right, side two. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, bend your left knee, turn out at your hip. Inhale, tack your right hip back. Exhale, bend the left knee towards your nose and round forward. Lift the belly in plank. Step the foot through between your hands. Spin the right heel down, heel to arch. Pressing to your feet, inhale, cartwheel your arms open, warrior two. Let's take a few breaths here, wrapping your left outer hip under, firming the top of your right thigh back, long, spacious spine. Now preparing for half moon, you might bring your right hand to your right hip. Look at the floor in front of your left foot and plant your fingertips 6 inches forward of that pinky toe out to the left corner. Drag your right foot forward, and as soon as it leaves the floor, flex your right foot. Turn your chest open to face your right wall. Maybe raise your right arm, half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. So again, open up that left side body under you by rolling your left sitting bone under and tacking the crease of your left hip back towards your right heel. Let's take another breath. Peaceful warrior. Slowly land your feet in warrior two, but flip your left palm to face up and lean towards your rear wall, right hand landing on your right leg. Feel that your left knee is bending to face the front of your mat. Let's take a deep breath into your left side body here. Exhale your hands down to plank. Pause in plank. Find that lift of your navel as you gaze forward. Exhale, glide forward, lower 2 inches. Hug the elbows in. Inhale, press up through plank. Exhale, back to downward facing. Let's take 3 breaths. We'll wrap up the sequence and we'll start from the top, 1 breath each movement. So bend your knees, look past your hands. After exhaling, hold your breath out and lift your pelvic floor. Walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Feet touching there. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Sweep your arms. Inhale, rise all the way up. Palms meet. Exhale, trace your thumbs down your midline to mountain pose. Now from the top, listen to your breath. Inhale your arms up, interlace the fingers, accept your index. Exhale to your right, side bend. Inhale up to center. Exhale to your left, side bend. Inhale up to center. Exhale, bend your knees together, sit back into chair pose. Exhale, lower your pelvis, sit up in boat pose. You might catch the backs of your thighs. Inhale, roll back, almost like plow. And exhale, sit up, back to boat pose. Inhale, shift forward, halfway rise in a half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Stepping back to plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, shift forward, bend the elbows back 2 inches to lower. Inhale, press up to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, bend the knee, turn open at your hip. Inhale, tack your left hip back. Exhale, bend right knee towards your nose, step it through between the hands. Heel to arch, inhale, cartwheel your arms, warrior two. Shifting forward, place the right hand down and enter half moon. Inhale, step back again, peaceful warrior, right palm sweeps towards your rear wall. Exhale, lower to plank. Pause in plank, feel that stability at your navel. Exhale, lower 2 inches. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hips back. Side two. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, turn open at your hip. Inhale, tack your right hip back. Exhale, round forward, knee to nose. Step the foot through between your hands. Heel to arch. Inhale, cartwheel your arms, warrior two. Exhale, plant the left hand, shift into half moon pose. Inhale, slowly step back into peaceful warrior, leaning towards your rear wall. Exhale, lower your hands to plank pose. Inhale, pause in plank, find that inner stability, strong line. Exhale, take it with you, lower 2 inches. Inhale, press up. Exhale, hips back. 3 breaths in downward facing. Bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of your exhale, lift your pelvic floor, walk or jump. Feet touching, inhale, rise forward. Exhale, fold. Root down to rise, inhale all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, tracing your midline, mountain pose. All right, so perhaps your hips and hamstrings are a bit warmer now, so please grab your strap. And starting at the top of your mat, take a giant step back with your left foot. Spin the heel down. Your legs are set up in warrior 2. We're gonna take a bound side angle pose. So wrap your right outer hip underneath. Glide your hips towards the rear of your mat, reaching your right arm past your right knee. And then holding the strap in your left hand, let the long tail of the strap dangle behind you, just outside of your right thigh. Now as you scoop the right sitting bone under your body, keeping your front knee and middle toe tracking the midline of your mat, bring your right arm to the left or the inside of your right thigh and grab hold of the other end of that strap. Now as your right arm and inner thigh press against each other, keep your right leg still as it is. And can you walk your hands even closer together on the strap? Whether or not that's possible, just find your way to whatever degree and lengthen your torso forward towards your front wall while spiraling your chest open towards the sky. Reach your tailbone actively towards your left outer heel, drawing the navel in towards your spine. Now, if you might be able to reach the fingers together, you can clasp your hands or even hold your left wrist with your right hand. Remember that no variation is better or worse. Just notice how you're honoring the truth of your body as it is here right now with kindness. Remember that very first of the first limb of yoga, ahimsa, non-harm. Let's take another 5 breaths here. Steadying your eyes on one spot, maybe up towards the sky. Now begin to straighten your right leg, so now you're in bound triangle pose. You might need to loosen the grip of the strap or your fingers. Keep a micro bend in your right knee and keep lengthening the spine towards your front wall. Begin to step in your left foot closer to the right foot. And as you bend your right knee again, let your left foot meet your right foot, top of your mat, keeping that bind as much as possible. So now your feet are wider than hips distance apart at the top of your mat. You're still in the bind. Begin to lift your right heel. Spiral your chest open to the left. Option to stay here, or as you bend your left knee, press downward with your left foot. Lift your pelvic floor, draw the navel in and up, and begin to lift your spine and right foot off the ground, flexing the right foot as you rise to stand in a variation of bird of paradise pose. So most important here is to have an upright spine, to feel spaciousness in your lower back, breath is spacious, and then you might consider straightening your right leg. Whatever variation you're in, listen to 3 more breaths. Now, if you are in bird of paradise standing, begin to bend your right knee if it's straight. Slowly lower your right foot as you bend the left knee. We're going to reverse the stages, trying to stay in that bind if it's possible. Look at the front of your mat. lift your left heel. Slowly step your left foot all the way back. Heel to arch alignment. Then unwind your arms and rise up to warrior two. Listen to your breath here. Mindful transitions. Take a deep inhale. Exhale down into a vinyasa, child's pose, cat-cow, or straight to downward facing dog. Notice how you're responding to what your body is saying to you right now. We'll meet in downward facing. We'll enter side two of side angle pose differently, straight from downward dog. So on your next inhale, step your left foot forward between your hands, spin the right heel down, grab your strap, and then rise up. So heel to arch. Take hold of the strap in your right hand and then just wrap it around your waist behind you so it's hanging outside of your left thigh as you bend the left knee, facing forward just like the middle toe. Wrap your left sitting bone under and draw your hips towards the rear of your mat as you reach your left hand towards your front wall. Really important to maintain length in the left side of your torso here. Bring your left hand on the inner side of your left thigh or the right side of your left thigh and find the other end of the strap. Nudging left arm and thigh against each other, walk your hands as close together as you can. As you reach your tailbone towards your right heel and the crown of your head towards your front wall, spiral your chest towards the sky. Shoulder blades moving down your back. And as you keep your left knee bent, just see what your range is here, walking the hands closer together. Maybe the fingers clasp, maybe you hold on to your right wrist with the left hand or not. Be mindful of any sensations, especially in your left side of your lower back. As you roll the left hip under, create space there. Let's take another 5 breaths as you steady your drishti, your gaze, on one spot. Now, keeping the bind of your arms, you might loosen it just a bit as we enter bound triangle pose. Look down at your left foot, straighten your left leg, but keep a micro bend in the left knee as you continue to lengthen your spine towards your front wall. Breathing here. Begin to walk your right foot forward towards the top of your mat next to the left foot. And then from there, feet are slightly wider than hips distance apart. Still in your bind, spiral your chest open to the right into a twist. Now you can stay here in this bind, bent knee, forward fold, twist. Or you can start to shift your weight entirely into your right foot, lift the left heel. Think of lifting your pelvic floor and drawing your navel in and up. Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. Root down to your right foot to rise if you're going there. Flexing or pointing the left foot as you lift the leg. Torso comes upright. How's your breathing? Still steadying your gaze on one spot. Find a tall, spacious spine, open chest, open breath. And then perhaps straighten your left leg. Bird of paradise pose. Now, whatever variation you're in, tune into the quality of your breath for 3 rounds. Keeping the bind as much as possible, let's reverse the stages. Bending left knee if left leg is straight and you're standing upright. Then bending right knee as you bow to lower the left foot. Slowly step the right foot all the way to the rear of your mat. Back to bound Parsva Konasana side angle pose. Once there, Cartwheel your arms open, Virabhadrasana 2, grounding for a few breaths. Deep inhale, exhale down to hands and knees, all fours. Spinning your fingertips to face the sides of your mat or the rear of your mat, let's enter a few rounds of slow cat-cows. Inhaling, draw your heart forward and up. Exhaling, contract your belly as you round. A few more. Slowing down your breath again. And then relax. Palms face down, index fingers facing forward. Bend your elbows towards your side ribs, lower your chin to the ground. Draw the belly in and lift your tailbone. Pause here, throat to the floor, looking forward. And then glide down onto your stomach. Sphinx pose. Slide your forearms forward as you lift your chest. Just take a moment to move your head gently. Loosen up your neck, loosen up your jaw. Slide your knees as close together as you can, preparing for a quadricep stretch. Cross your left forearm in front of your chest. Bend your right knee. And to also open the front of your shoulder, backstroke your right arm and catch hold of the big toe side of your right ankle or foot, the inner side. Keeping your knees no wider apart than your hips distance. Round your two frontal hip bones. Turn your chest completely forward with your shoulders relaxed. Breathing deeply, bring your right heel slightly to the outside of your right hip. If you're feeling pretty warm in the front of your right thigh, you could explore spinning your right palm so it still faces down, but your fingertips point towards the front of your mat. And your right elbow is bending towards the rear. Let's take 3 more breaths. As you exhale, release your right leg straight, plant your 2 forearms in front, back to regular Sphinx. And there, slide your knees as close together as you can. Cross your right forearm in front of your chest. Bend your left knee. And backstroke your left arm to open your inner shoulder, catching hold of the big toe side. Knees no wider apart than hips distance. Ground your 2 frontal hip bones. Open your chest to face forward as you soften the shoulders down. And breathing here, slowly bring the left heel just slightly to the outside of your left hip. And if you're feeling warm on this quadricep, you might spin the left palm so that your fingertips are pointing at the front of your mat and your left elbow is pointing towards the rear. 3 more breaths. And with an exhale, release. Pressing up so that we can bring the legs out in front of you to sit. As you're sitting, bend your knees. Step your feet on the ground in front of you and separate your feet wider than your hips distance apart. Drop both of your knees to your right side and let your right heel press against the bottom of your left thigh, just above your left knee. And then from here, backstroke your right hand behind your right glute on the floor. Raise your left arm and sit up tall as you relax your shoulders. Take a deep breath up your spine. Exhale, turn your chest to your right and let the back of your left hand press against your right thigh, spiraling into a twist. Inhale, lengthening your spine. And exhale, twisting some more. Maybe look behind your right shoulder if it feels okay on your neck. 2 more breaths. As you exhale, unwind your spine. Come back to sitting with your knees pointing up, feet on the ground, wider than hips distance. Then drop both knees to your left. Plant your left heel against the bottom of your right thigh, just above your right knee. Back stroke your left hand to the floor behind your left glute, and raise your right arm up. Imagine breathing from the bottom to the top of your spine to your crown. And as you exhale, twist to your left, pressing the back of your right hand against your left thigh. Inhale, lengthen your spine some more, shoulders relaxed. Exhale, keep twisting to the left, maybe look behind you. 2 more breaths. On an exhale, unwind your spine. Let's come into cow face pose, standing your left leg forward. Cross your right thigh as much as you can over your left thigh so that your knees might stack. Now, optional to keep your left leg straight if that allows you to be more balanced in your pelvis. Otherwise, bend your left knee too and see if you can splay your feet wider apart. Bend your elbows apart as you bring the arms into eagle pose. So with your right leg on top, cross your left elbow over the right, hugging yourself tightly, or hooking your thumbs, or wrapping your forearms and palms. As you slide the shoulder blades down, full length in the spine, inhale. Exhale, begin to fold from your hips, breath by breath. One more breath here. Leading with your chest, inhale, slowly rise up, back, stroke your arms and cross your legs. And let's take the left thigh over the right, knees stacking. Either bottom leg stays straight or bend both knees, both feet splay apart. As you ground your sitting bones, bend your elbows like a cactus, and then cross your right elbow over the left. Hugging yourself, hooking your thumbs, or wrapping your forearms and palms. And then release your shoulders down, sit up tall, inhale. Exhale, start to fold. Few breaths. On your next chest again. Release your arms and cross your legs and prepare for either shoulder stand or supported shoulder stand with a block or two. So regular shoulder stand if you don't have any neck injuries. You might also be using a blanket underneath your shoulders and upper back. Supported shoulder stand, step your feet on the ground as you lie on your back. Lift your pelvis, slide a block or two stacked underneath the flat part of your lower back, stably supporting you there so that you can lift your legs straight up and you're in the pose. 5 to 10 breaths. Regular shoulder stand, elbows plug into the floor as close as you can to your side ribs, hands catching your glutes and pelvis to lift them up as you tilt your chin back slightly away from your chest. Feet together, pointed or flexed, as you actively lift your tailbone up towards between your heels. Create a vertical line as much as possible, ankles over hips, over shoulders. If you are in the very vertical shoulder stance, Salamba Sharvangasana, we might move into plow pose, bringing the legs overhead in Halasana. And there, optional to interlace your fingers like you would in bridge pose. And then as you're ready to come down, use your hands to slowly lower upper back, middle back, pelvis. Let's all meet in one more pose before Shavasana, and that's fish pose to counterbalance our shoulder stance. So with no block under your body, extend your legs forward and bring your feet together, relaxed. Place your palms face down underneath your glutes so that your thumbs meet each other. And then as you press your elbows and forearms into the floor, tilt your chin back to whatever degree you can. As you lift your chest, you might lift your shoulders off the floor and place the crown of your head on the ground, or you might not. Just find your own degree and take 3 to 5 last clearing exhales through your mouth. Any sound, maybe a lion's breath. And then as you're ready, carefully place your body into Shavasana. Any props that you may need to lay it to rest comfortably, closing your eyes and letting go of controlling your breath. We'll be in Shavasana for about 4 minutes or so before our 5-minute sitting in meditation. Again, here's that quote by Pema Chodron. There is a teaching that says that behind all hardening and tightening and rigidity of the heart, there's always fear. But if you touch fear, behind fear, there is a soft spot. And if you touch that soft spot, you find the vast blue sky. You find that which is ineffable, ungraspable, and unbiased, that which can support and awaken us at any time. Courage to live from the heart. I invite you now to begin to move your body gently, easing out of stillness. Perhaps keeping your eyes closed and maybe taking a few deeper breaths. Move into a simple stretch. And take your time to rise into a comfortable seat for our 5 minutes of meditation. So feel the posture you're placing your body in, that it's both grounded, anchor into the surface below, and spacious and lifted. Rest your hands anywhere you like. A mudra might be palms stacking, thumbs touch. And if your eyes are open, steady a soft gaze on one spot, and otherwise close your eyes. As you relax into the natural pace of your breath, the suggestion for this meditation is to chant a mental mantra, an affirmation, to promote anything in your life where you might infuse some courage to live from the heart. Maybe there's a difficult conversation to be had. You need a little more courage to step into. Maybe there's some action waiting for you. Notice if there's any area in your life where you could use a nudge of courage. And in that situation, place the feeling of this mantra. The fire in me burns through all blocks and fears. The fire in me burns through all blocks and fears. The fire in me burns through all blocks and fears. Just mentally chanting that. And most importantly, feeling the meaning of that. closing this practice, bring your palms to meet at your heart, bowing in, honoring the courage that resides within you. Let's close with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.